Good morning, everybody. This is, well, not Anthony to be honest, but this is Deadpool. Yes. And the spirit of Halloween, I like to say Happy Halloween to everybody. And I cannot hear you. Actually, hang on a minute. 1 second. Okay. So, good morning, everybody. Morning, all. Joining me today on this Halloween episode of Mission Start Podcast is none other than Greg Deeds.
Hi, it's early.
And we got a lot of topics for you. But first, let me take this off, because I cannot see crap of my glasses. So, okay. There. A lot better. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. A lot of big things happened in the past week. A lot of it obviously was the PS4 Paris event that happened this past week, as well as Nintendo's thing they announced. But there's also other stories to put in as well. So with that, we should begin. So, where to begin? Let's start off with let's get to the small stuff first, and then we'll go to the big stuff. Okay, so this actually was a surprise for me because I didn't think this was such a big deal until recently when I was looking up the news for today's show. But Halo 5, the game came out. You know, people are liking it. I'm mad jealous. And why can't you? God damn it! If you're seeing a black screen, it's because there it goes. Okay, because I recently switched into XSplit from the other thing I was using. Anyways, as I was saying,
figure your shit out, son.
Halo 5 came out. People liked it. I heard it's a really good game. You know, got some rave reviews. The one thing I did not expect to hear from people about this, that apparently is a backlash, is that people are pretty upset that they didn't have split screen, to the point that even 343 admits that the blowback from the loss of the split screen in Halo 5 has quote unquote has been huge, so much so that they are reconsidering its presence in Halo 6. So let me actually read a quote from here. This is actually from GamesRadar.com. So let me just read a little short blurb about this. So here's a quote. Realistically, for Halo 5, it's not something we can just throw in a patch, O'Connor said. It's not feasible in the way the engine works. Quote. Now, before you get too sad, O'Connor admitted that the blowback to split screen removal has been huge, and that just because it's not Halo 5 doesn't mean the feature is gone forever. Quote, split screen is fun for me too. It's not something that I object to, and we would have loved to put in, O'Connor said. We'll talk about it for the next game, and we'll talk about it for the future. So, I didn't think this was going to be such a big deal. I didn't think this was, going to be something that, people were going to get upset about, especially the way that games are going anyways. Like,
Yeah, we discussed this on the podcast, that it's more feasible for them to not have split screen than it is to have split screen. With how many players probably played Halo 4 not split screened, like, versus how many did, it's just kind of on a fundamental development level, like, you just kind of have to cut the fat, and that seemed like the proper fat to cut.
And it seems like games are going in that direction anyways, like, in terms of, like, where... Actually, hang on, let me change something real quick. Especially how games are going in that direction in recent years. Like, we've seen, like, Gears of War going in that direction. We've seen, like, games like Halo also go in that direction. Like, I didn't think it was going to be that much of a big deal. And anybody...
Couch co-op is almost dead.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you have a couple, like... Oh, the Duck game and fucking... can't think of the other one suddenly. Like, it just... I don't understand the backlash. There's been actually a few things that have been hated about Halo 5, but beyond that I'm just like, what, why is that your complaint?
I don't know. It's weird, but, and I was talking to my brother about this too. Like, it's it seems like having something that's been there for so long, I can see why people may feel like, what the hell, why isn't it in this game? Because split screen has always been since in Halo 1.
Sure, I get that, but I mean, it's that whole adage that I constantly talk about, and that's you just have to evolve with the times. If you aren't willing to understand why certain things, like, if you're the type of person, and I'm not joking when I say this, and if there's anybody watching who's like, oh, fuck that Greg guy, then fuck me. I don't care. Well, that didn't sound right. The point I'm getting at is, if you are the type of person that says my cartoons were better than the past or than the current generation of cartoons, or if you're the type of person that says my music is better than the current generation's music, you're part of the problem. You're the asshole. You are keeping things back when they should be progressing forward. You know what I'm saying? When I say, like, if you're the person yelling, Halo 5 sucks because it doesn't have split screen, why? Why is that the thing that you're complaining about?
Right. And here's the thing about it, though. Like, you can make that argument with, you can make the argument with games, I guess. There's some other things you can't make the argument with. Like, I say, like, music. Because, like, I can say the 80s era music is actually probably the best music in the, in this time.
But that comes down to taste and preference versus actual quality. Halo 5's quality isn't diminished because of no split screen. Just know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, just because I can't sit at home and play Halo 5 with a buddy split screened does not diminish the quality. As a matter of fact, split screen would probably diminish the quality of the game.
Right.
Because I'm not able to see certain things. I'm not able to, make out distances because of the split screen. Like that, I remember reading that was a problem with Halo 4's split screen, was that they kept saying, like, you can play it split screen, but we don't recommend it because fucking shit doesn't pop into existence for a while. Like, that's a real problem with split screen. And the only reason that split screen existed in the past was because it was the only way to do multiplayer. Now that, like, everything's over the internet, it's kind of like, what? Like, I get that some people don't have good connections. I get that some people have shitty routers, like myself, for example. But I just can't fathom why somebody couldn't understand why there's no split screen.
Right. I guess when it comes to that, I guess maybe, I don't know. Like, we live in a different time and age, especially when everything's online. And split screen at the time was where a lot of people for growing up, on Xbox One, PS2,
but as I said, you're pointing that out, and you're absolutely correct. If split screen is that much of a nostalgia thing to you, then go play an Xbox One. I'm sorry, an Xbox original, or go play 64.
Right.
The current model of generation of gaming is not for you, clearly.
Yeah.
You're so not, and I don't say you, I mean like the royal you, the people complaining about this, are so infatuated with how things were that Halo 5 can't evolve.
But
Halo 5 can't move forward, because I've heard people complain about, like, the way the game controls, the fact that you can zoom in or like look down the sights, I should say, the fact that you can climb walls, that they're sprinting. Like, people are like, they're calling it Call of Halo Duty because it's not like classic Halo. Well, it's not like classic Halo for one because it's not Bungie. Two, it's not classic Halo because it's fucking Halo 5. I'm gonna talk about the story for like a second, not spoilers or anything, but there's been a complaint that you kind of have to have a lot of backstory and history and understand what's happening in the world and lore of Halo in general to get the story to Halo 5, to understand what the fuck is going on. You had to have watched all the extra shit. You had to have read at least the first novel. Like, there's a bunch of, like, extra content that if you don't know, you're going to be kind of lost. And that's the truth of the matter. And that does suck a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Like, if like, I have a lot of friends who actually only played Halo 4 story, and that was it. And now they're just like, I don't know what the fuck's happening. So I understand how that might suck. But at the same time, it's Halo 5.
Oh yeah, it's like true. It's true.
It's like going into like the third Lord of the Rings movie and going, I don't know what's going on, guys. I have absolutely, like, this is ridiculous that I don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. Like, what? Are you kidding me?
Well,
it's the 5th fucking entry.
I know. But here's the thing I will say about Halo 5. It doesn't hurt to have split screen in it. Does it hold back the series or the game? No, I don't think so. I don't think it does. I think if anything, it's just a feature that people would like to see. So I wouldn't say that it's going back with the times. I'd say it's just a feature that people would like to have added in the game.
And you're right. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. What I'm more meaning is that it's just a hard feature to add and keep the graphics the way that they are.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, not thinking about it.
Yeah, because that's something that I definitely have at least read about when it comes to like split screen in current games. Mm-hmm. Like, it just diminishes the quality of the game and things look a little bit jankier, and it's just like, do we keep this in and people complain about graphics, or do we take it out and people complain about the split screen?
Right.
You know, you gotta what's that term? Like I say, trim the fat. You know, you gotta get rid of some shit. I mean, there's shit that Halo 5 like multiplayer was supposed to have that doesn't, because they wanted to make the Warzone mode like the cream of the crop. They wanted to make that so good that we don't have a lot of the big team battle stuff or just other rad game types that we could have. We can't build maps yet.
Yeah.
So there's that.
That's true. That's very true. So yeah, I mean, I just find it interesting in the fact that that was one of the biggest things that people were pretty upset about. So
yeah, if it counts for anything, I'm actually playing Halo 5 right now, and I'm not even remotely upset that it doesn't have split screen.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Like, I have a buddy who actually lives in Elk Grove with me, and he wants to play the campaign, and I was going to invite him over to come, just to hang out and play it and whatnot, but he's playing it by himself.
Yep.
And I could care less.
Yep. Agreed. All right. So going from Halo 5 and going to something else. So, okay. This game, Batman Arkham Knight. This game is, and on the consoles have been working great. People love it. Game was pretty damn good. PC version, didn't work for the first time around. In fact, it didn't work for a very long time. In fact, the PC version had to be taken off of Steam, and then recently put it back up on Steam because of the glitches and everything bad about the PC port of the game. So, let me actually get that title. Where are you, Batman? Man, I am not very good with this.
It's early. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll just put...
I swear to God, dude, every time we do this podcast, it's always like you bring up a topic that people are angry about, and I'm just like, shh, these people need to shut the fuck up.
But
how often is it not that?
It is. But it's something that, that it is what it is in this game industry. And how fans react. Okay, so Batman...
I just hate overreaction, that's all.
That's true. Batman on PC is still a disappointment. And let me put up the article. This is from Eurogamer.net. So let me read a quick blurb about this real quick. So, they recently... Actually, let me bring up B-roll footage when I'm doing this too. Instead of look at my face. Where Where are you, Batman? Okay, there it is. So recently they put out a new patch. And let's see. Yeah, they put up a new patch of the game. And it fixed for the most part what needs to be fixed, but there's definitely some stuff and that is seriously wrong with the game on the PC port. So let me read the first two paragraphs from Eurogamer.net, who did the article on PC port of Batman. It's been 4 months from the initial release of the nightmarish PC version of Batman Arkham Knight, an outscored port so bad that the publisher felt it had no choice but to remove the game from sale. An interim patch was pushed out for existing owners last month, but a new 2.3 GB update was unveiled on Wednesday, alongside a re-release of the game. Yes, Batman Arkham Knight is available for sale once more, but the question is, are the major issues sounding the title resolved? Is it actually worthy of the purchase? And then he goes on to say, looking at the latest patch notes, it's safe to say that they went into our testing with little optimism. Warner Bros. Focus is seemingly on bringing a PC version of the game up to date with the console release in terms of DLC content. While the September interim patch listed some technical enhancements plus the addition of high quality texture options, there was nothing in the latest update to suggest any further enhancements to the technological nuts and bolts of the game, and that is a fundamental problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
That, my friend, that is shitty. Like, it was interesting because I remember we had this discussion like when it came out on PC in June, and we had the discussion, and we both came to like the agreements, like, yeah, like, you know, but PC ports, like, we just had to eat crow because that's kind of how it's been, and they can do that. But it was funny enough, like, not long after. Because it was like literally like a week or two after the whole the ability to get refunds on Steam, and people were doing this en masse, like refunding this game, particularly like in droves. And Warner Brothers caught whiff of this, and you know, it's like, oh, let's go back and try and fix this. My question is, what happened? Like, it's been what since June? Let's see, July, August, September. It's been 4 months. What the hell have they been doing these past 4 months to enhance or to better the game? Not to say they haven't worked on it. I'm just saying, like, the game's still broken, and that is a problem. And
you know what they were probably trying to do? Figure out. Oh, why'd you spawn me here, game? To figure out a way to actually like get the studio to fix it, or to get the funding for it, because since they had to pull it, like, it didn't make enough money to constitute hiring either a new group or a team or something to that effect. So like, you know, what have they been doing the past 4 months? Trying to figure that out.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it. It's sad to see this type of thing happen, but it does every once in a while.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Batman's a good game. On console, it is a fantastic game. And if you can get it working on PC, it's a good game. But, and here's the thing we're kind of looking forward, is like, with these games that are coming out with, on PC ports, especially on Steam, there's now more of a voice, instead of us arguing and people on the internet saying, you know, this game is
saying, huh?
I'm saying that the people now have the power to like say, we don't like this game, we want a refund, and they will. So all that money they made in initial launch, you know, on PC is gone. I don't know how much they've lost, but I'm pretty sure it's a good amount. So the PC ports on Steam specifically, I think these developers need to be more wary of, because people have more power to actually say something about it and do something, rather than just, you know, arguing and complaining. Console,
yeah, that's what that's kind of what I get at most of the time when it comes to this situation. Like, if you're unhappy with something, just say you're unhappy with it. If you go, I'll go kind of retroactive here, but if you go, you know, I'm a little disappointed that there's no split screen in Halo 5. all right, cool, that's understandable. Versus, fuck Halo 5, I ain't buying that shit because it doesn't have split screen. That's dumb. If you go, fuck Ubisoft Games and their whole studio because I can't get it on PC, is that really the reaction you want to give, man? Like,
yeah,
they tried. It's not like they just said, oh, fuck you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely like... It is definitely something that, you know... It's not like they don't know. It's not like... Because here's the thing I've learned.
Know.
It's like, yeah, here's the thing I learned. It's like, when game developers know there's something wrong with the game that you think they don't know, they know. They know everything. They've been working on that game for, like, what? Years. And if there's something wrong with it, they know it. The first person to, you know, tell them, it's like, they'll get it. It's just sad to see, you know, like, it's nothing that I don't want to harp on these developers for, but, like, you know, it's something that...
Well, I mean, we talked about why it didn't work in the first place, and it wasn't just that they, like, outsourced the porting of the game. They outsourced it to a known terrible company.
That's true.
Like,
that's
they
very true.
Outsourced it to the lowest common denominator, and that was not what they needed to do. That's where they failed.
Yeah, that's true. Because for those who don't know, the same company that's doing this port was also the same company who did the Mortal Kombat X port. And that did not do good either. So either, you know, they believe, like, you know, maybe it'll just work the second time. No, you know, 1 + 3 does not equal 2. So,
no, it's...
Yeah. So
it's just that's what's going to happen. So... You know, whatever Ubisoft, or not Ubisoft, whatever
Warner Bros.
WB Games, Jesus
yeah.
Christ, I said WB something. Whatever they decide to do next, like, give, you know, don't just sit there and say fuck them because of this one situation. That's retarded. That's really stupid. Just, you know, go, well, you know, I'll be a little bit wary on the PC version, but if it doesn't work, I'll just get my money back.
Right, definitely. All right, so let's go back in time, and not to go off the, you know, Back to the Future reference, but let's literally go back in time.
You gotta go back in time.
So, let me see, where is that? Man, I swear I keep... God damn it. Day of... Okay, so now I am a man who has played many games in the past. I mean, I grew up on the Nintendo. I never was a PC guy back in the day, but I've heard legends of these games when I grew older. And we're talking about, like, Day of the Tentacle, Grim Fandango, you know, these action games. What was it? Monkey? What was it called? Something on Monkey Island.
I know that there was a bunch of them. I know Curse was one of them, but I can't think of it right now.
Yeah. So the reason why I bring this up is because Double Fine has announced, at least on the forums, that they are remaking Day of the Tentacle, and they actually released some screenshots of what it looks like now. And I'm looking at them right now and kind of thinking back of what the older versions were. It's more cleaned up, you know, it's very, very clean, it's more simplified. It's, I want to say, you know, they're using vector graphics, but, it's cool. It's really cool that they're bringing that back. People have been clamoring for that game for the longest time. I've been hearing a lot of people say, you know, bring back Day of the Tentacle, bring up everything that they did back in the past. So,
well, these old school point and click adventure games, the reason that people liked them so much, especially back in the day, was because you got really cool visuals with a fun story, and it's not terribly surprising that people want it back. That's not too surprising to me. But the problem with a lot of these old school point and click adventure games is that their insane difficulty was just unbearable. So, like, one of the complaints, like, you know, not to go too off from Double Fine, but Sierra was notorious for making a shit ton of point-and-click adventure games. Between King's Quest and Space Quest, I think it was called.
Might have been,
yeah. They made like a bunch. Oh, and Leisure Suit Larry. There was a bunch of those.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like Leisure Suit Larry was easy in comparison.
Mm-hmm.
But these other ones were just like, they're really difficult. Like King's Quest 3 or 4, like if you don't save this rat from being eaten by a cat, the rat won't come up later when you're in a jail cell and have a key for you.
Yeah, that was some crazy shit.
Like shit like that.
Yeah,
shit like that's really, really bad. Like, so like stuff like that, I've heard that with re-releases they're taking out or they're changing so that way it's not ridiculous, which I think is really cool. So I'd hope that the point I'm getting at, the long haul of this whole thing is I hope that the unfairness difficulty is gone, and that there's a I don't want to say easy mode, but not a unbearably difficult and unfair mode.
Right, definitely. I mean, I think they're starting to get that, not many of us who were young that have not played these games, and if we try to play them today, which you can, like, it's actually really difficult, and you gotta kind of have to think outside your means when it comes to some of these puzzles. So I think they're starting to get like, okay, let's make this more, I won't say easier, but it's more kind of, actually, yeah, it's easier for us to figure out. Because like it's like saying, it's like in a puzzle game, like to unlock this one door, I had to ask the policeman, like, about pie, and then he gives me pie, and then I gotta give it to the woman with the handkerchief, and then she sneezes out the keys. Like, okay, how would I have known to do that? So there's definitely things,
right.
There's definitely things like that.
I've watched the Game Grumps play a lot of the King's Quest, and there's like, I don't remember which one they played, but they pick up a pie at the beginning of the game, something they could have totally missed or used later multiple times, but instead they're supposed to use it to throw into a fucking Yeti's face towards the end of the game. Shit like that made like those point-and-click adventure games damn near impossible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Granted, today you have the internet and walkthroughs and shit like that, so it'll be a bit easier. And but I'm just saying, like, if they're re-releasing these, maybe don't make them so damn difficult. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, put a mode in there just for us youngins, so we can play it. All right.
Well, for us old people who don't want to spend fucking 20 hours on something.
That's true too. It's very true. Okay, so let's see. We done that. Okay, so now we get to the big parts. When I mean the big parts of the show, I mean like literally two of the biggest things that happened this past week. So, hang on a minute. Paris event. Okay, so Sony had its big Paris event this past week. They had a lot of games that they showed off. Let me just a second, give it a minute to refresh. Okay. So they had a lot of games that showed off. A lot of it was, some of the games are coming to PS4 in the coming years. Some are not planning to come next year. Some were actually surprises. I put up a list of what was some of the biggest ones out of that PS4 press conference. So here's some of the games that showed up that were new or that were announced. Detroit, Uncharted 4 multiplayer, Star Wars gameplay trailer including Han Solo, Emperor Palpatine, and Princess Leia. Horizon Zero Dawn gameplay, Gravity Rush 2, No Man's Sky trailer with confirmed date for next year. Street Fighter 5 new character plus launch day. Tekken 7 trailer. Drive Club now having bikes in it. The Gran Turismo series, another game is coming, but they're also teaming up with a sports network, from what I've understood. That interview, the last thing they did. Wild. And a big VR push for games that were announced or shown, including Battlezone, Dawn. Was it what was the game called? Dawn of
I have no idea.
I forgot the game with Dawn in it. The horror game. Rush of Blood.
Until Dawn.
Until Dawn. Yes. So it's called Until Dawn. Rush of Blood. And Tekken 7 is gonna have VR, which I find that weird. But they did a thing with first person with Tekken 1.
Cool. I want to vomit.
I think there's
Eddie Gordo Gordo. Eddie Gordo.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I play. Oh no!
Why would you do that? So, there was a lot of interesting things that came out of PS4. I mean, obviously, I was more interested in Street Fighter because I'm a big fighting game fan.
Right.
But I think what surprised me, I think, out of somebody's announcement was that No Man's Sky's actually got a confirmed date finally. Like, it's coming out next year in June. So, because like the longest time we could never get a confirmed date out of those guys, and it seemed like they've been working on that game since, I don't know, forever.
Yeah, it's been a while since they announced it. I gotta admit, like, I know we're slowly talking about No Man's Sky, but overall, like, I watched some coverage of the coverage or the footage or the thing because I didn't watch it live at all.
Right.
And I gotta admit, there's not really anything that I'm dying to play on the PS4 out of everything they announced. Like you said, Street Fighter V is kind of where you are, and maybe No Man's Sky. But like, I'm not the type of person to buy a console for one game. I mean, you got to have like a slew of stuff that I want to play really bad, and a lot of the stuff they showed that I want to play is also on the Xbox One. So, like, if somebody's out there excited about those games, awesome. I think that's fantastic. But personally, there's just nothing that excited me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, what I'm saying, Vern?
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, like, there's definitely, to each when it comes to certain games. For me, like, there was maybe one or two games I was really interested into. Some of these other games that I plan to play later on, I've never played. Now I have a PS4. Like, I'm gonna go back and play the whole Uncharted series when I get the chance. And Star Wars, like, we both agreed it's gonna be cool. I think it's gonna be pretty awesome. I think it's a little weird for some. Like, I can see Han Solo. Yeah, Han Solo, like, in the game. Sure, I can get that. Princess Leia, I could see somewhat.
I've heard there's no exclusivity between PS4 and Xbox One for that game, so
I wouldn't doubt it. I think it was more or less kind of showing off what they've been talking about.
Yeah,
prior.
I mean, it's the same thing with like Destiny, man. Like, there might be a slight exclusivity, but I don't think it'll be like, maybe they get that Jakku map or whatever for earlier. I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
it's again, like, the footage was cool. I'm not saying it's not. I mean, if we're talking about the overall conference, like, yeah, okay, Sony's winning. I get that Sony's winning. Sony's, like, double what fucking Microsoft sold. So, like, good on them. But does anyone really believe that the games they're going to sell are the ones that are also, like, the games that are exclusive to their console? So you have Uncharted 4, which will probably sell a ton. You have No Man's Sky, which will probably sell some consoles. No joke there. And then what else? Like, what else do they have? Like, Tekken's not going to sell consoles.
You're right. It won't. It won't. It really won't. I mean, it's cool that it's there, but, like, in terms of, like, what exactly does PS4 have that, if you can say, compared to the Xbox One or Wii U, like, exclusive wise, they don't have much. But you can say the same thing for Microsoft too.
Well, I mean, Microsoft this year has a lot more exclusives.
In comparison, yes. But in terms of the amount of exclusives, like, there isn't much. So like it's realistically
no,
like
I agree. I know. I mean, like Microsoft has like I think like 10 or 11 exclusives, while after this, especially after this conference, PlayStation has like 33 or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's the point I'm getting at is like I think like 4 of those exclusives I actually want to play.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So it's kind of hard to justify like the purchase of a full console when the losing console has more stuff I want to play. I mean, realistically, the Wii U has more stuff that I want to play than the PS4.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, this is also back catalog. Like, there's
okay.
a lot of stuff on the Wii U I just haven't played yet because I don't have one. But
right.
But I mean, yeah, there's just more on the Wii U than the. I think there's more stuff on the Wii U than the Xbox too that I want to play. But it all comes down again. This all comes down to like preference and taste and shit like that. And I don't know, man. Like, I'm really happy that Microsoft has or that Sony is coming back. They deserve this year after or they deserve this generation being number one versus last generation.
Right.
So I'm really glad that their show had a lot of exclusives and a lot of people excited and you know, it's great. I'm just happy for them. I think it's fantastic. I just you know, personally I think that I keep saying the word personally.
Right. I mean, yeah.
I'm just not interested. I'm just that's all it comes down to. I think I definitely don't want to be that guy that's just like naysaying the whole podcast. It's just hard for me to be honest and be like, yeah, fucking Sony, dude, yeah, because I don't feel that way.
I get you. I mean, to each their own. Like, I have, I guess, a more skewed look at it just because I have a PS4 Sony, and I've been so long with Microsoft, with the Xbox original and Xbox 360, and decided to make that jump. It's interesting to just kind of see what the other side looks like, for me at least. You know, not always say the grass is always greener,
sure,
but like,
sure.
You know, taking that different route than I would normally take. I will.
Sure, I want a PS4. I absolutely want one for that exact same reason. It's just like my buddy who has all 3 consoles. Two of my buddies, both of them, have all 3 consoles. They rarely play their PS4. Very rarely. It's a dust collector right now. Right. I think one of my buddies has it connected to a different TV entirely, so that way they can watch like Blu-ray or Hulu on the PS4 while he games on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
So
what I will say is that
I mean we'll
see.
Not to interrupt. I don't mean to interrupt again, but I just thought of something here. In you know, like a lot of these games aren't coming out for a while, especially not till next year. And next year, Microsoft is gonna be like they've burnt all their fucking exclusives this year.
Right.
So, what will next year look like because of all these exclusives? How will it change? How will it be different? Like that's what I'm interested in. That's what I want to see. I think Microsoft definitely has to do something big. Gears 4, okay. I mean, that's not really gonna do anything there, but you absolutely have the right to keep trying.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I think in due time, I think we'll kind of see how things come out. I think in terms of in what way is, you know, gamers going to be gravitating towards, there has been no clear indication. I mean, like right now we could say obviously PS4 because of all the backlash that Microsoft took, but I give it another few years and we'll probably see a better understanding of what's going on. Especially that now Nintendo's working on the NX and seeing that's going to look like. So that's going to be interesting to see how that comes about. And
yeah.
So speaking of,
I really, you know, that's I was gonna say, we could talking about that.
yeah, I was going to say that. Speaking of Nintendo, so they announced a few things this past week that raised a few eyebrows, and much of it.
A few.
Okay, well, there's other things too. There was other things too. Okay, so here's the thing. Nintendo is launching I mean, let me first start with this. So they did away with the Nintendo fan club. That kind of, you hopped onto the deal, you signed on. I got something in my throat. And hang on.
You all right there?
Oh, I just got a piece of dust in my throat. Ah. I'll survive. So they got so they recently got they did it with the fan club thing, and they renamed it as Nintendo account, which I think is the lamest name you can give that thing. And here's
let's be honest, Nintendo's not been great over many years naming their stuff.
Yeah,
family computer and entertainment system and 64. And hey guys, this is a cube that you can game on, so we'll call it the GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
They're not great at naming things.
I would say they're good at naming prototype names, but they're not good at naming consoles.
Yeah, the prototypes are legit. I mean, realistically, let's be honest. Like, we got PlayStation and the XSplit, or not XSplit, but the Direct Xbox. That's why it's called the Xbox, because it's a box that used DirectX.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. But when it comes to this, with this, here's some bullet points when it comes to the Nintendo account, aka the Nintendo fan club. Ease of creation, use of the Nintendo accounts being emphasized. Register with NNID, Facebook, Twitter, Google, email. Purchase software downloads on the site, see purchases, play info, and game-related messages. Nintendo will send notices and gifts. Example, Animal Crossing character called Isabelle may send some information or present to those who are playing the game. Market players may receive a notice about add-on content, and we also send a message that enables the receipt to purchase some software to an attractive price point on his or her birthday. Game purchase can be automatically downloaded to your system. Receive points by using and playing games or purchasing them. This applies to both console and mobile. Use points on digital goods, maybe DLC, original goods, and coupons. Use your account in conjunction with the theme park as well as theaters and stores. Make friends with those who enjoy playing games together by establishing friend relationships. Friend stuff again. Nintendo console. Okay, so basically, here's the actually cool one. Nintendo accounts will provide the cloud storage of character and saved data. That's cool. Will provide membership service benefits in other real-life facilities such as theme parks, movie theaters, and retail outlets. My Nintendo will work as a bridge between dedicated game systems and smart devices, and to be out in March. Okay, all right, Nintendo. I see you. You got my attention. I like the fact that. Because I remember they did this at the Seattle baseball park, where you can use your Nintendo DS to order food. And you could do that. And definitely, if there's more plans to incorporate Nintendo products into real life stuff, as a benefit, that'd be cool.
Not to be that naysayer again. Boy. I am just the worst today. God damn it. Oh, fuck. The problem that I have is, like, Nintendo's really looking to make a lot of money off of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
They really want it. They want it bad, they want it hard, and they want it fast.
Exactly.
But they're not doing it right.
You don't think so? Especially with this... with the Nintendo account?
Maybe they're setting it up for something bigger, but what I see right now is what I see right now is them trying to, how do I say this? Because I'm trying to not say this like, I'm trying to make this sound cohesive. They're trying to make a mobile platform instead of releasing mobile games. That to me is not the necessarily right step. What they should have done, because here's the thing, most consumers out there go, I love what Nintendo did in the past. and I really want to see them do new things with the mobile device. New things does not mean announce that things are coming and then go, oh, we have a Mii game that you can like. It's like Pokemon Go but Mii's.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, okay. Because that's kind of where I'm saying they did it wrong. Consumers want fun games they can play. And it seems like Nintendo's like, that's not what mobile stuff is about. Now, is Miitomo, I think it's called?
Yeah.
Is that thing going to be free?
That's a very good question. Because like, and to kind of follow with the other announcement that Nintendo made, so the early day announced was Miitomo, and it's going to be part of their mobile platform for Nintendo. So you know, I got the notes from the Nintendo announcement. So here's the bullet points of what they announced. So as we said, Nintendo Account is their new membership program. More games that haven't been announced yet are coming to this year to promote Wii U and 3DS. 70% of Animal Crossing fans in Japan are women. Interesting thought. Also, the fact that Amiibos have sold 21.1 million units at the end by September. Also, the fact that they showed this graphic up, but like, guess what country buys the most Amiibos?
Most Japan, United States.
Yes, by 60%.
I knew that. Like, I actually knew that, and I was like, you said it, and I was like, it's a day, and then it just didn't come out. It was like, blah.
Yeah, so I find that quite surprising, but interesting. Nintendo's mobile games have been delayed and will launch in March 2016. The first mobile game will be called Miitomo, as we discussed. Games will be free to play, but not all Nintendo games will be. Game is about communicating with others using Mii's. First of 5 games to come out by March 2017. DNA is the indie thing that the Nintendo is starting up, kind of like XP, kind of how like Xbox had their own indie division and Sony. DNA will help operate the smartphones games. While Nintendo will focus on ways to guide users to its hardware. Nintendo's goal is to use smart devices to increase the value of its IP, which helps sales of both software and hardware. And then here are images of the Miitomo. There it is, which is like to show like a example of what it looks like on a smartphone with all these emojis.
I don't know, man. It's just them announcing something super early, and I think it's far too early for that. That's my thing. Like, it's just, man, it's just so early. Like, to not announce a game or games with it. Like, that's kind of what I'm driving for.
It's interesting because like here's the thing, that in Japan the mobile platform there is huge. Like, people play on mobile games more than they play on consoles. It's definitely a different feel and atmosphere there. So they see this as more of an opportunity to get on that train. And I'm not quite sure if it appeals to us in the States, or anybody else, but like definitely in Japan, like that's something they want to go on for. So we'll see how things go. I think you're right that they're announcing things a bit too early, but at the same time, I kind of feel that they need to, because of where they stand in the quote-unquote console race, especially with, like, in my opinion, like, there's been very few games who have kept Nintendo Wii U afloat. And I think that the games for this year has been, for me at least, Mario Maker and Splatoon have been the 2 biggest games out of this year for Wii U, and keeping that system alive pretty well, because notoriously Nintendo has always been bad with third-party support, and maybe, I don't know, a third time's a charm for them to get them back on board to make games for Wii U. I just see it. I mean, honestly, I feel like Nintendo is gonna end up to where they will stop making consoles and focus on games, going the Sega route. I almost want to say that, but then
I almost guarantee it.
Yeah, the only reason why I say almost is because, like, the 3DS is still too good of a platform Still really good device. Really good game.
Just saying, mobile. Man, like Nintendo wants to. They need to stop. I know that they've always been about innovation, but they really need to stop for like a solid 10 years and just make money.
Yeah.
They're not willing to do that. They're absolutely not willing to do that, and this is why they're hemorrhaging money, is because they just keep doing innovation. Maybe they need another big innovation like the Wii that people just buy as a gimmick, but that's not going to help. That's not going to fix the problem. It's going to keep doing it over and over and over, and it's just
we'll see.
I mean, it's a hard market out there, man, and I was really hoping that with this announcement there would have been more stuff about their mobile platform and what they want to do, but with just Miitomo and
4 other games in the works for the mobile platform.
Yeah, they didn't announce what the games were. They chose not to announce what the games were, so it's just kind of hard to sit there and be like, yeah, go Nintendo. You just kind of it's like that disappointing father. It's like, I'm not mad at you, but am I disappointed? Like that.
I hear you. And I was gonna say, we'll see. I mean, here's the thing. It may not be big here in the States, but it may be big in Japan. Maybe, it gets most of the money we get from, but who knows? Who knows?
No, I think that this Miitomo thing will definitely kick off to a point. I don't think Americans will pick it up as much as the Japanese will.
Right.
Couldn't talk there for a second, but I don't think that this is the first step forward that Nintendo needed to make with their mobile stuff.
Right. I hear you.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's there's stuff we still don't know. Will Miitomo be free? I hope so. But then they're like, but we have these 6 other games from franchises you already know and love. Can you tell me a reason why Fire Emblem wouldn't be perfect on mobile devices?
Oh my god. Yes, that would be great.
Just saying, and make it $2. There you go.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
Definitely. I do want to end the show on this note because I feel like this is actually pretty important. So recently, a Librarian of Congress expanded fair use rights for video game preservation, allowing players to, quote, modify a game to eliminate the need for a I can't say that word. Authorized server after the original server is shut down. And to just kind of nail it down to basically English, what this means. 1, users can circumvent the requirement for original dev hosted servers in the event those servers are shut down. However, this only applies to games that don't have an online component. So single player games with multiple element don't count, and doesn't address circumventing other aspects of the DRM. 2, libraries, museums, and archives can jailbreak consoles in order to get games working again if the console wouldn't otherwise allow it to server authorization. This is an issue that won't be a problem until Microsoft Sony stops supporting the 360 and PS3, which granted will be a while. So, I'm all about preserving the history of video games. I think that it's good to have an archive of this, especially as games move on in the future and we go into different digital platforms. Having something to look back in the terms of how it was back then to how it is now, I'm always in favor for. So hearing this, it's yay, we get single player games that we that otherwise have been offline that be able to bring back to life to for the sake of preservation. But games that have multiplayer that may not be experienced or may not be able to be hosted, that's something that sucks. So it's kind of a half win, if you will.
Yeah.
So.
Don't disagree.
So yeah, that's what I thought I'd end there before we end the show. But yeah, yay preservation. All right, so there we go. End the show. Okay, so all right, it's the end of the show. So, Greg, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram under Chubb Rock Geek. Let's see, where else? Oh, my brain. Oh, sorry, I still haven't had coffee. You can find my reviews on either the YouTube page, Mission Start Podcast, or whatever. You'll promote that shit, and the website, which I'm going to be doing a Halo 5 one here soon. Spoiler, review. So if you haven't played the game, don't read it.
Yeah. Spoilers ahead.
Yeah, and then I stream every Saturday on Half Empty Energy Tank. I will not be on tonight just because Halloween and other plans that got in the way. But we have a guy named Hawkfoot who's going to be playing Mega Man and Sonic games for the night. Tomorrow, however, will be interesting because tomorrow is Half Empty Energy Tank's Extra Life 24-hour live stream.
Oh shit.
What entails with that is we'll be starting at noon tomorrow and going until noon on Monday. I will be streaming from 9 p.m. until about 4 or 5 in the morning, depending on when the other guy wants to start. So yeah, tune into that. We're gonna be playing lots of games, having lots of fun, doing lots of interesting stuff. I'm probably gonna try to do some with Slappy Meats, do some Cards Against Humanity, and then transition to Quiplash. So yeah, tune into that. It'll be a hoot and a holler.
That sounds,
if you will.
That sounds interesting and pretty cool. Definitely.
And if you have a few bucks in your wallet, it goes to that Extra Life charity, which is, goes to children's hospitals.
Yep, definitely. For the children, as they say. For the children.
For the children.
You can follow me personally on Twitter at Defective Naruto. You can follow the work that me and Greg do on our website at missionstarpodcast.com. So, if you enjoy this podcast, if you enjoy listening to it, watching it on our YouTube channel, or other places, be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes and Stitcher. And also, be sure to follow us on our site for more podcasts at missionstarpodcast.com. If you enjoy convention talk, if you enjoy us talking about conventions we've just been to, and we are talking about critiquing them and telling everything we've been experience-wise with that convention, check out the Con Over. It is actually, it's on. Yeah, can I talk today? It's up when we have a new convention that we're covering, and this past weekend we are actually covering Kamikaze with Jeremy and the crew. So expect a new episode by next week. Then you can check it out on iTunes and Stitcher. And speaking of Jeremy, if you enjoy comic books, entertainment, movies, video games, and anime all in one podcast, be sure to check out The Rolling 20s. They are a comic book podcast. And they're usually on every Fridays and sometimes Monday, depending on when I get the episode. But you can find them on iTunes and Stitcher as well. And for those who don't know, schedule as it stands for our streams. Officially, on Mondays we have our Skullgirls online tournament at 7:30 p.m. called Monday Night Blockbuster. And then as you're watching here, Saturday mornings, Mission Start Podcast show at 11 a.m. on Saturday mornings, Pacific time. And then there'll be some streams here and there that might pop up of other stuff, but this is actually the official schedule for now. So with that, we will see you guys. Let's see what's going on next week. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Yeah, I got nothing planned. So
next Saturday. Yeah, I'm good. I can do it.
Yep. Yep. So, happy Halloween. Be safe out there. Trick-or-treaters. Be wary of candy. And I feel sorry for anybody who gets a rock as a candy. So,
be wary of candy.
Yes.
He says.
All right. See you later. And we will see